Hi everyone and welcome to Homerino Collectibles, where today we're going to be taking a look at the DC Comics Multiverse Arkham City version of the Batman Beyond suit. Now this is the 4-inch figure by Mattel. If you want to pick up your own Multiverse figures, you can find them at Big Bad Toy Store. Check out the link in the description below. Coming around to the back of the box here, we can see an awesome picture of the suit. It's definitely one of my favourites from the game. I think the Sinestro Corps one was definitely the best with that epic long cape. And you can also see a few other figures from the line. So let's go ahead and take this thing out of the box and take a closer look. And this right here is the reason why I wish that we had more smaller scale Batman figures. So this right here is the animated Batmobile, meant for a 5-inch figure. This right here is the Batman Forever movie Batmobile, meant for a 5-inch figure. If you got the figures that were meant for them, that was great, but all of your other Batman figures, they'd either be stuck in certain poses, or the capes just would not allow you to fit them in, or maybe some other Batman figures might have been a little bit too big to fit in. A hell of a lot of the time, the ears would keep these canopies from closing down. If you have a 4-inch scale figure, not only do they actually fit inside the cockpit much easier, but what you've also got to remember is the fact that these Batmobiles obviously have to be scaled down if they're going to mass produce them and sell them at a decent price. So they are very often too small, really, compared to the figure that they are shipped with. And so what we do actually have here is a very much more accurate look of Batman next to his Batmobile. The animated one still probably should be a little bit longer, to be honest, but this Forever Batmobile, I think that this is literally the perfect movie scale. Before we take a look at sitting inside a Batmobile, let's take a look at the figure itself. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. It is very accurate to the in-game version. Honestly, obviously, it's just a plain black, pretty much an Arkham City body mold. You can see the lines on the body still there as well. But this guy had lines on him, so he's still very accurate to how he was. Although it's pretty much just a plain black bat suit. I mean, it's very hard not to get that right. Fantastic big red emblem right there, and they nailed that belt to a T. And the head is fantastic. Love a Batman with some big ears, and those piercing white eyes look pretty epic too. In terms of his articulation, the head can look left and right, and then the shoulders can come all the way out to the side and rotate all the way around. You've got a single joint at the elbow there. Really, really nice design there for those little fins, the spikes on his arms. You do actually get some wrist rotation as well. You don't get any accessories, so you can't put a Batarang or anything in him from this set, but obviously if you have other Batman figures, I'm sure you'll be able to get a Batarang that'll fit inside that hand right there. Rotation at the waist, hips come all the way out to the side, and the legs can move forward and back. You got the single jointed knee right there, but you do actually have a thigh swivel, which is pretty cool. And then you don't get anything down there at the feet, but honestly, it's not really needed. These are cheaper figures. You're not going to get as much articulation out of them. And all that really matters is, does it have enough articulation to comfortably sit inside of a Batmobile? As you can see, he definitely does. And I think that that is a really, honestly, perfect fit inside there. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of wiggle room inside there. Some of these with a cape is obviously going to cushion that and help them stay a bit more still. But I think it's definitely a much better size for these Batmobiles than the slightly larger scale figures that actually came with them. So here now, if we move on to the animated Batmobile, there is a little less space in here. This canopy actually can just come straight off because it's a little bit broken, but this thing had this clip in here. It is much more confined. These figures had the cloth capes, but you could remove those capes anyway. But this figure very comfortably sits inside that seat, and obviously is not going to move anywhere because it has that essentially seat belt on it. And obviously you can go ahead and close the canopy back up. And it's time for the oldest out of all of them. Let's go all the way back to 1989 with the Toy Biz first ever Batmobile. This thing actually had 2 seats inside here, which is, I think, a fantastic scale for this guy. I think that is definitely a fantastic scale, and if you had 2 of these figures, they would look epic in those seats. Great thing is, if you want to go ahead and capture the Joker or something, if you have some other smaller scale enemies, some criminals, they fit really, really great in that boot section in there. You actually can't see him because he's all black, but the figures fit really well inside that boot. Honestly, Batmobiles, I mean, they are pretty much hit and miss. They work really well with the figure that they're intended to work with. But then any other figure, it's going to be really, really hard to fit them in. If you get some smaller scale figures like this one, you can use any Batman in any Batmobile. So just like in the Arkham Knight game, where you can choose your different skins for your Batmobiles and use whatever Batman and Batmobile you want to use, you can do exactly the same with the toys. But I definitely recommend to any collector out there, if you do want to just go for, you know, a best version of a certain character, definitely go for something with more articulation, maybe a slightly bigger scale that you're going to appreciate a bit more on your shelf. But if you have some Batmobiles, these guys are going to look epic stood next to them. So, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to check out more from me, there's some links to my social media in the description below where you can stay up to date on upcoming content. If you want to check out more videos, there's some on the screen right now. And for more Batman and stuff from DC, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.